Well, for more on this, we now cross live to our correspondent, John Bevo's out in Finland. John, a very good afternoon to you. Thank you so much for joining us. Look, we're very curious. What could have prompted this about turn from Wagner leader Yevgeny Prigozhin to agreeing to negotiations led by Belarusian President Alexander Lukashenko?
Well, that is the big question, isn't it? Why, after all the very big talk, the brave talk, the talk of marching on Moscow, all of a sudden did things come to a stop? The official line was wanting to avoid bloodshed. It might have come down to the simple fact that he thought maybe that he wasn't going to be able to get much further without having his men wiped out. That, of course, is one option. That would have been exceedingly difficult for Vladimir Putin and all in the Kremlin, though, because they have long held up this mercenary force really as heroes. Coming to the defense of Russia is how they sell it. If they had to attack this mercenary group, then that would have caused all sorts of problems. So it does seem like this is the solution that has saved some face for Vladimir Putin. But of course, as we've just been hearing there, this is hugely damaging for him and what he can do. This is a man who likes to keep complete control. Here I am having to talk to you from Finland, because if I was just over the border in Moscow, then I wouldn't be able to speak freely. Such are the controls that are in place, the press freedom. So I think this shows a man who is for more than 2 decades has been in near complete control, and this is a crack. This is something that has emerged as showing him to be human. In the last few minutes, we've actually heard from the US Secretary of State, Antony Blinken. I'm just looking now. He's given an interview to a US network, and he said that this shows Putin maybe is losing some grip on power, and that the US, certainly publicly at least, are saying they think there could be at some stage another challenge to Putin's authority. But that, of course, doesn't seem likely just at the moment.
Look, John, what is the reaction from other EU member countries? We have just heard from Rishi Sunak.
Yeah, we've heard from Rishi Sunak, who very much was saying it was the protection of civilians that they were the most interested in. So I would think the immediate response from EU members and from NATO members, of course, here where I am in Finland, they joined NATO just a few months ago, much to the annoyance of Russia, who saw it as Western expansion and aggression. But I think that both EU and NATO leaders are glad that things have calmed down in terms of violence and the possible impact it would have on civilians. Of course, we have to remember Russia is a significant nuclear threat as well. So internal destabilization, well, that will really get people worried as well. But of course, Western powers would very much like the idea that someone who would stop the war in Ukraine would come into the Kremlin. That doesn't seem likely immediately with the cooling off of this advance on Moscow. But certainly I think this has shown Vladimir Putin is not the strong man in complete control that he's very much that aura he's given us for the last 2 and a bit decades. So going to be interesting to see where it goes from here.
John, look, any word from Ukraine? Is fighting still going on there amid all these developments?
Yes, fighting is absolutely still going on. The Ukrainian counteroffensive continues. A lot of military experts are saying this is a great time for Ukraine in terms of tactically, because they are going to be able to strike at a Russian invading force that has got a lot of infighting going on. Of course, the Wagner mercenary group have provided significant gains for the Russians in Ukraine. So with them out of the picture for the time being at least, well, that gives the Ukrainians some opportunities. So Ukraine is very much trying to seize on that and to push forward. They are hoping that maybe morale is low amongst the Russians. Certainly that will keep going. And we have Russia already claiming that this internal rebellion has caused no issues at all, that things continue, that this special military operation, as they call it, is continuing just as normal. So certainly Russia trying to play down the impact it might have. Ukraine and Western allies hoping they will be able to make some gains and recapture some territory taken from them.
And John, what are you hearing from where you are in Finland? I mean, where is Putin? Because we understand that, of course, these latest developments have actually prompted him to relook his security detail, and speculation is that he might not be going anywhere outside of Russia in the next couple of months.
Yeah, that's it. Where is he? Where was he yesterday? A plane he often uses was tracked and then was removed from the flight radars. So exactly where he is, of course, that will be a closely guarded secret. Some say he's actually not far east of where I am now. So I'm here in the capital, Helsinki. If you take the main road east from here, within about 90 minutes, you would be at the Russian border. On from there, St. Petersburg. All round there is a theory that he could be at a secure location there, basically a bunker. Of course, the Kremlin playing that down, saying he wasn't running away, he didn't run away, and that he remains working in the Kremlin. Interestingly, though, today we have been told that there's not expected to be another press conference from Vladimir Putin today. So that could suggest that maybe he's not in his normal surroundings. But of course, Russia trying to downplay all of this, saying that this was a stab in the back. But I think what people are looking out for now is what the repercussions of this will be. Vladimir Putin maybe potentially issuing some sort of crackdown. Any fellow leaders he saw maybe as wavering and not supporting him, you would imagine that there will be a crackdown on those people.
John, thank you so much for that comprehensive report. That is our correspondent there, John Beaver, who was joining us in Finland, giving us the latest on the Russian developments.